Here.
Henderson.
Here.
He is absent. Rasmussen.
Here.
Everyone here. Warren.
Here.
Cruz.
Here. Okay, call this special meeting to cover a couple of business items. One, I didn't know how to really word it or approve the amendments to the 24-25 budget. What I want to discuss is how we're going to approve the budget. Several talks, this latest one today, this morning, the MTA, what we do is we will have a public hearing, a budget hearing, either before or during the next board meeting, and at that point in time, then we can move to either approve the budget or table it. We can table the budget, the approval of the budget if we need to. MTA stated that we have until April 1st to get it done, so we have enough time until we approve it. There's some other things that are lingering out there, as we all know, that need to be thought of on that budget. But that's really what we're going to look at as the next meeting. We will have something going on when we will do our public hearing. So if we're going to do it before, maybe we talked about maybe we'll do it before the meeting, or if the MTA said we do it in the meeting. However, I would probably advise that we don't do it in the meeting. You know, there's a lot of public comment. You know, we need to make sure we have time for that, and then we get a break for the regular meeting. So, but I mean, that's something to the board. Just give it some thought, and we'll work through it from here on out. That's scheduled. Second business item is to do the second reading of the planning commission. It's not the planning commission, but actually the planning ordinance. And so I asked the board this time, I mean, we've all had a chance to really look it over, but I'll give a few more minutes to look over the adoption of the ordinance. After the vote, if the board was to approve the ordinance, then what will happen is the ordinance is posted for public viewing in the paper. So it's up to the board to decide whether or not to adopt the ordinance. So if I give you a few minutes to take a look at it.
Is there copies of this ordinance?
Yeah, is there something the public can see about this ordinance?
We're getting our new copier tomorrow. So
We just left the copiers down again, so we were having problems with that, so this is all we can do. Get a new copier tomorrow, so.
I got one that I'm willing to share if someone would like it.
Give them mine, too.
Anybody else?
Yep, we're gonna, unfortunately, and this is the only thing we'll do, I wanted to state, while the board is looking over their ordinances, just a public comment kind of a thing to address the board and how the board ran last week. I talked in depth with the board on how I want the meetings to run from there on out, and that is because we've now gotten to the point where we've been in business here for a while. We've taken public comment. I've given comments and answers back. I will not be doing that, but this will never get out of here. So we have to make sure that we understand this, that board meetings, the meeting of the board. Also, precedent was set beforehand for my predecessors and the predecessors before that. Other board meetings, even school board meetings, don't run like the way we've been running them lately. And the reason for that is I want to get public input. I figured as we're all in here, it's best to get public input that way for the first few meetings. But I won't be answering any questions inside the meeting. We'll take our public comment, write it down, and that's how we're going to do it from here.
What was that place where we can submit written comments to the board?
Oh, absolutely. Emails all up and working now. If you have emails, you can leave a message on my answering machine. You can schedule an appointment. You do all that stuff. You can stop by your house if you want. It doesn't matter to me. So we can clarify those questions at a later date. Going back to the meeting here. Yes, thank you very much. The next thing is we are going to only allow one comment, 3 minutes each. And we ask that anybody that does want to address the board, once again, each comment should be addressed to the board, not to people in the audience, and be respectful of the people in the audience. And also, one time, we're going to have 2 comments in the next board meeting, in the regular board meeting. And we'll be one of them before we look at the agenda, and then we're going to do another one afterwards for another return on the comment. And I think that's fair because we never ever felt right, and some of the board members agree that we never felt right that the board, prior to this board, would go into a vote, not saying that's a bad thing, but we want to hear from the public before we take action on some sort of agenda item, because that may sway that trustee or official to not vote for it or vote for those things. So we really want to get public input that way. I think it's a fair way of doing this.
So can I play the legislature?
Sure.
So I do agree with public comment, especially when they can see all the agenda items. But if we add something to the agenda that is not on there, are they allowed to speak a second time? At that, you know what I'm saying? Because
We're going to have to be sensitive.
Okay.
I mean, that's another just a gray area.
okay, I just wonder, because sometimes we do.
Yeah.
Shouldn't anything added to the agenda always be done prior to any public comment?
Not always. Some things come up that day.
Yeah.
I think something's come up during the meeting.
Really, 15 minutes.
I get it, yeah, but if there was.
Agenda, and additions, subtractions, we need to make.
So you're saying conditions?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. The other thing, one second. The other issue I want to address is that if you do want your public comment recorded, which is super important because even going back and reading all the archives that I've read, it really does help, even for prosperity, that we put those in. If you say, would you please put my comment in there, and then we can put that log in the meeting minutes, because where the audience was at on that topic at that point in time, and as we're working through it, yes.
Name and address, please.
Name
And
and
I don't care if you want to take Green Township or Big Rock Lake or whatever, I don't need your full address, if that's just the township rule, not ours, but Michigan Township rule.
Yeah. So okay. So that's it doesn't really stray from what Kelly said yesterday, last meeting, which probably seems like a couple of days ago now. It's just the way that we need to operate. We need to operate as a board. We need to get through our items rationally. So,
Sure, you have a question here.
oh yeah, speak.
Okay, so what I'm hearing from you now is you're going to go about the agenda before anybody can make any,
No, just this one. This is special meeting. We just, because if Dan was here, I could amend the agenda. Because Dan isn't here, we couldn't amend the agenda. If they had a full board on a special meeting, I could amend it and put the public comment in before we went to the agenda items. In this special meeting,
isn't everything special according to the township? I mean, you're going to decide some pretty important stuff today, and I imagine there are some people here that would like to make a comment on it before we go.
There's still public comment at the end, we're just going to go through our agenda first.
Okay, moving on. Thank you. Moving on, I'm looking for a motion to adopt the second reading of the ordinance.
I so move.
Okay, I've got the first from Jeff. Do I have a second? Second motion? Okay, I have a second. And Rob, is there any other discussion from the board regarding this ordinance? Or the adoption of this ordinance? Okay, and your vote? Roll call.
Moore,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Ridgway,
Yes.
Rasmussen,
Yeah.
Eagle, yes, Cruz,
Yes.
Now I have a question.
Okay, motion carries.
I have a
Ordinance
question.
adopted.
For here where it says 63 days, is that from the second reading?
It's 63 days starts, the clock starts ticking once the ordinance is.
Oh, so once this whole thing gets in the paper?
The whole thing won't be in the paper, the whole document is available here in the township.
Are we taking off the old document?
Yes, yeah, yeah, exactly. And so what ends up happening is as soon as it hits the paper, then the clock starts running 63 days.
Okay,
And then after 63 days, then it comes, you can block.
okay.
Okay. The third business item is releasing ISI from Green Township Hall of Internet and IT service. We are now are operating solely on our own internet supply. My broadband hardware has been it's still being some of the documents are still being transferred off the old hardware. We are using the new hardware for the most part, and at this point in time, we no longer need any ISI services. So at this point in time, I'd like to get a motion from the board to allow me to release ISI from Green Township Hall, which is their maintenance agreement with us, and then their internet service. And their internet for the township hall, because we have a redundant system at this point in time. Now, this does not include the towers. What we don't want to do is impede ISI's ability to do business. They just cannot do business in our township hall. And it says precedent for businesses in the area, and that maybe Joe Snowplowing or whatever wants to run our business out of our basement. But they are absolutely still on our towers, and we're not going to vacate the towers, and we're not going to discontinue service for them. That is not our business. We are not a private business. We are a public entity. And so it's up to them to decide on how they want to handle the customers and that sort of thing. What I will do if the board grants me permission on this motion is I will work with our attorneys. We're going to send them a letter and engage them in how we're going to go about this process. But what we really need to understand here is that we are operating by ourselves now, without ISI. And so the board, what I'm asking the board to do is release us from it so we don't get charged for the ISI services. Okay? We're not using them. So that's the one part of the motion. The second part is obviously the terminating of our lease agreement for the basement.
So with this, so we're doing two separate things.
Yes,
really.
yep,
So,
I want to make sure it's clear.
Okay.
Yes, yep. So the two separate things. Once again, nothing's coming down off the towers, none of that stuff. We just have to make sure that we start working and get a trajectory where ISI has a plan for the meetings, in the area of the basement. That's least.
is there a lease up soon anyway?
There's things to consider with the lease, and so we need to terminate that lease. And however long that takes, we need to look at going in that direction.
Do we know what the cost is on that?
Oh,
Can they, is there going to be legal recourse on that, breaking the contract?
well, There may be, right? There is legal recourse, I mean, there's potential, maybe, but I don't see how or why there would be. It's just they've been working using our space. And now that we're done, we need to move forward. And so if there is a legal recourse, there's things to be considered, I guess, at this point in time. All right? That needs to be considered in other areas. But that's what I'm looking for a motion to do. I'm looking for the board, once again, to allow me to.
I'd like to make a motion that we release ISI from the commercial lease agreement in the basement and the IT services that they have provided in the past.
Okay, I've got one motion. Kelly, looking for a second. We got a second from Rob Henderson. And I'll get a vote.
Bushwhack,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Rasmussen,
Nay.
Rebo, yes, Thorne,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes. Motion carries. I will inform the board on our progress in that matter. Thank you very much, board. Appreciate it. That moves us to public comment. And we will stick to our 3 minutes public comment. Please approach the podium. I'll take the end as we get.
Joint crew on 996 River Road, Rapids, in Green Township since 1976. I'm wondering about the planning commission. And Jason, I haven't had a chance to talk to you. I thought we voted that down in November. It was a yes of 525 and a 698. Why are you going ahead with it? The majority said no. Am I missing something? Because I don't understand it. Can I get an answer, please?
Yeah, we can do it afterwards. I'm going to save it for later.
And you say it for later, Jason, and people aren't being called back. I come down here and all of you know me because I'm a pest. And I care about all of you people, but you can't keep putting it off at this board meetings when people want to know. I don't understand it. I thought when we voted, it got voted down. That should have been the end of it. And it doesn't seem like that's what's happening, and I don't understand why. And I think there's a few people here that would like to understand this. That's all. I'm just asking a question as to why it's going ahead when it was already voted down. And you're saying you're not going to answer.
Not right now. Later.
You will answer later, for sure. Okay.
Thank you, Joanne. Speak.
Hi, my name is Lindsay, and I have lived in Green Township for 54 years, and I would like to have this be in the comment section. I try to keep everything I read in the paper that is good for the community. And on October 21st, it says funds were allotted for Paris Park. $54,000 grant money was awarded to the township board, okay? To support the development of the Stone Hatchery Park. This includes repainting the building inside and out, better parking, lights going up for the parking, and permanent restrooms. That was the goal. Because there are many people in the township that go there for special events. And not only special events, but they have farmers market also. And so the goal of the board was to make this a gem of the community. And years ago, you could hardly see see it. There was brush and trees and all kinds of scrubby stuff. So there was a lot of time and effort put into it to make it what it is now. I would like to have you tell your people that voted you in, and those that did not, that you had accepted the money, the $54,000, to do all these updates as was planned by the former board, and do away with the porta potties. That does not mean put a roof on the porta potties. That means do away with them. Your attorneys can help you get this going to meet your deadlines because it was supposed to have been started in the springtime, okay? And $54,000 is a gift horse. We don't want to say no to it. As I have been advised, you've been in office less than 3 months and you spent over $22,000 in attorney fees. Nothing is free. You found that out. Even a phone call. This brings me up to the point that living here 54 years, we lived across the street from Charlie Brown Park in Green Haven subdivision. That has always been a really nice park. But to maintain it for 30 years, you're looking at Mr. Pete, who mowed it for 30 years and went through 3 mowers and trimmed 96 posts around the park so that the kids would be protected from their in the park. Boy Scouts have done a lot of work down here with a lot of other community people that were on the park board to make improvements. So they've done their time, their effort, and a lot of money. And we want to continue to see it improve. So please get this going.
Thank you. Yep,
Can we hear from you about that in the future?
absolutely. Yep. I have a lot to report.
All right, very good, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Linda.
I'm going to give you, since the October 21st, refresher thinking on this. I'd like to see good things happen in Paris.
Thank you. All right. Yep. Next, public comment. Any other public comment? Could you stand to me? Oh, we got to check.
I know you guys have a tough job since you started. You guys took over from a very corrupt board. And I like that, we appreciate you doing a tough job. And we get a lot of criticism. But we stand behind you. And thank you for doing your job. I know it's hard, we got to fight work and back and forth. But I'm just saying, please, do like that. A lot of people appreciate what you're doing.
Rod, can you see her? Very good.
Rod,
Okay. Thank you. Next public comment? Any other public comment? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, what was that? He's coming up. Now I'll get you. Okay. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brian DeVita. I've lived in this township for about 20 years. I just have a question about what the prospects are for the pumping station you were promised for the sewage. That was supposed to be funded and ready to go this summer. So if you could give us an update on that, please. Need my address?
Could I get it from you really quick?
18110 Wilson Drive.
Oh, good.
Our son is the Eagle Scout that updated the park plan. And our neighborhood.
And our son wants to do too. When he was 16, now he's 48.
I'm Tanya. I live in Green Township. This is on behalf of my sister. My sister is not able to be here, Jessica Sharp. She was a Green Township resident, but she is in the hospital. She is saying she just wants to know how they can have a legitimate project the way they are running it. It is not professional. Run like a normal construction site. Why do they have to lease a building unless they have a legitimate plan that won't go through no matter what? Why can't they get a logging company? Because M&M is a log care, they are not loggers. Rumor has it that sadly a small community, small business, he's been here for 29 years, he's willing to jeopardize his entire reputation for a measly $29,000. And a lot of people wouldn't even do the work. So my sister was wondering about that, and if you could put that on the record so she knows that I did it for her. And then for me, I have an update that I guess supposedly, again, I'm being told that March is supposed to be the approximate site plan to be released. Whether that is actually true or not, I have no idea. And then I also was told that the J.C. Penney building is a lease, not an actual lie. And that's all.
Can I ask for clarification? Your sister, you basically said they a number of times. Can you clarify they in her, what you were referring?
Well,
You said for public.
Yeah.
You said they, just for public comment. We were referring.
Chuck Palin.
Balin or the business?
He only, she says down here, because I wasn't going to read it, I will.
You don't have to read anymore. I just want to know if you said
She was saying that Chucky Boy needs to pack his stuff and go. She feels
I
that she,
just want to know when you said they.
yeah, they is Goshen.
Thank you. That's all.
Just for clarification.
That's all that's for clarification.
Anything else?
That's it, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good evening, Chuck Phelan, address is 18222, 220th in Green Township. I just want to bring the board aware of live contract, or monthly contract, here's for that, of our progress today. On Saturday, we have a very nice event where we signed a multi-year lease agreement for building 125 South Michigan Avenue, where we will be housing 55 employees that we intend to be hiring this year, up to the 200 cumulative employees to the end of next year. So that would be a temporary location for us. As we build the new buildings, they will then be transferred over to the main site. If you'd like to see the photograph or coverage of that, I expect to see that Channel 9 and 10 very, very soon. You see that I'll be signing the lease with a number of people on the backdrop from both our Board of Management as well as our Illinois site plant manager and his crew. After that, we went to the site to have a review of the site, showing the progress to date. We started to move some red pine trees out front to make room for our guard shack, where we will then put also the front gate, which will be set back from the road to ensure that at least 2 semi-trucks can come off of the road so we don't encumber 220th Avenue. And our chairman of the board, our CEO, asked me to stop the cutting of the red pines in that area. He wants the truck parking to be off to the middle of the property so people don't have to look at trucks. So you will see that we will stop that progress. However, we do intend to do a little more work up front there to get ready for the shack and the gate. So our crew has now moved to the center of the property, where he's instructed us to focus on just the trees that are in the area, the building locations. When he was able to look clear the entire site up front, because he does value the Mother Nature. So that will all shift a little bit. We originally intended to put all the trees and move dirt, but we were going to slow down on phase 2 just for his vision. So milestones we met for the agreement for the development contract. We're well on track with that. We have 3 new employees that are on board and moving forward to make sure we've got local resources, local contractors that are working on our site. I've received no less than 4 phone calls already from local contractors that are asking to be a part of the building renovation, which will put in multiple conference rooms, office areas, that kind of thing, to make sure our employees have a good place to live. So that's the progress to date. I'd be more than happy to come back with a progress report at the next meeting.
Thank you for your update, appreciate it. All right, next.
Green Township, a little concerned with some of the updates we just received, and I want to make the board aware of some things that we should correct and look into later. The J.C. Penney's purchase property, up to 200 employees, they might want to think about parking and things that isn't there. But we'll move on to the trees that were cut. Obviously, it was premature activity, as he just admitted to. It should not have been done. They don't know what they're doing. He can talk about a site plan all he wants, but until that site plan goes through Eagle, it is not set, and it is not what he thinks it's going to be. So when they want to talk about being environmentally friendly, the only way to prove that and to show that would be to wait to do anything on a property that is 200 and some acres, but is filled with 60 acres of wetlands that is scattered throughout the entire property. It's not just in one corner or one spot, it's throughout the entire thing. The map lights up in yellow. So if somebody is environmentally friendly and is taken into consideration the Muskegon River watershed, they would wait until those permits were through and the mitigation through the wetlands started. Also, Chuck Phelan, I'd like people to know, and the board to know, that just in the Cranes article in Grand Rapids, he stated to ensure community is comfortable with the environmental permits. Phelan said Goshen has also been sharing information about future planned operations with the Muskegon River watershed assembly and the Mecosta County Conservation District. Yesterday, I was allotted time on the Muskegon River watershed agenda. It was recorded for viewing. They are going to put out a written statement, and they are also, I asked if they would come and present at a Green Township board meeting, because in the prior, they were willing to do that and talk about how they were going to be involved in this development. They were allotted, they told us yesterday, the prior board changed the night before and did not let the Muskegon River watershed come and talk, but they would be more than willing, since it's a new board, to come and present if that would be allowed. And also, there has been absolutely no communication with Chuck Phelan or Goshen. So he continues to say these things, and it is not true. They asked for the SDS's, a written environmental statement on the environmental threats that these chemicals could pose, and there has been nothing since May 9th, when Chuck Phelan last spoke to us at a public board meeting and promised us all these things and said he was doing all these things with Eagle, and if anybody even reaches out to Eagle, they know nothing and can do nothing until that site plan is permitted. They have had their third-party environmental consultant agent out there to look at the wetlands, and Eagle was out there to look at that in October, but nothing further. So for him to keep continuing to do things and act like they should be out there to cut in an area that is a vulnerable ecosystem and a well-known flood zone, somebody might want to start to demand, before you go a little bit further, let's really get in writing what we're looking at.
Thank you. Remember, I'd like to, just to remind everybody in the public here, please make sure you keep it professional and courteous to everybody in the audience. Next, is there another public comment?
Just to kind of go with Randy there, I just wanted to remind you of your good names and just to remind
our voice was ignored, and they're bulldozing through, even though the majority of the people do not want this Goshen factor coming in. And people who do this kind of thing are not good people. People who bully and don't listen to people, they're not good people, just to remind you, and everybody else. Thank you.
Excellent. John?
My name is John Holsworth, like my town is recorded at Green Township. First of all, with our the last one, we were supposed to have somebody appealing their FOIA, and they didn't show up. I think we need to look at the FOIA policy going forward, look at people who are from the township at one rate, the ones who are not part of it, and just putting all this stuff higher rate for people from outside of there. And also, if you don't show up for your stuff, that there should be some kind of a charge or something like that. The other thing I'd like to say on, the responsible environment, stuff like that, is that nothing that, we know that this company is a Chinese company, so Yahoo News, okay, the business site just popped up this morning on the phone. Says the Chinese fishing vessels are going scorched earth pumping cyanide into waters of the Philippines. So now, you're putting right over top, Wacosta County has two continental divides. You have the Saginaw River system starting on the east side of the county. We have this Muskegon. You got water from Huron and Lake Michigan. Okay? So we're doing that. Review it, Michigan.gov. In the Marshall site, that's one of the most important aquifers there. So now you're putting it over top of two of them in the state of Michigan, the large thing. When you look at the Oregon bed potash, I was just looking at, it goes from here to Canopy. Oh, what's in Canopy? Oh, Mantino. This is really getting to be quite a thing coming out here. So anyway, I just want to say, we've got I applaud you guys for doing this. I found that there's actually now 3 political parties that we have going on in America. We have the Republican, the Democrat, and then you also have a conflation of the two, the Benjamin Government Party. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, I just want to get a clarification. Mr. Thalen gave an address of 2 something Green Township. My understanding was that you lived on Northside Lake. Did you give us an improper address or where the residence is?
Representing the company location, 18222. Yes, that's our company.
Your home address.
That is not a home address.
Thank you. I just need clarification. Right?
Too close to the communist school. All right, thanks. Next, public comment. Any others? We got it.
Thanks. Eric Babb, with the 120 Chief Street right over here for 48 years. I have a question about the second reading of the planning commission. Was that to be voted in today, or was that just a reading?
I can clarify that after the meeting. So we can ask, it's public comment, but we're not going to comment. It's just public comment to the board.
Well, okay, well, I didn't see anything about appeals either for individuals.
Sorry, what's it again, Mark? I'm sorry, what did you say, John?
Appeals, is I didn't see anything in the bylaw or the proposal of appeals, there's all that? Final word, is that? The board has the final word, that was no appeal, their decision?
Oh, as far as once we pass
Yeah.
something, once we pass it, that's just the board decision.
Okay, you know, said, well, public hearing, what, can I appeal there, or something comes up?
Public hearing would be budget.
Well, it's not clear, there's public hearings for your thing. Is that for just removal of people, or is that?
No, it should be,
I just want to, I mean, are you gonna, what are we zoning against, or what? I mean, why are we having this board do all our decisions when we have Cost County that doesn't have?
I can answer this afterwards.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, next one?
Back here.
Yes, sir, come on down.
My name is Warren Meyer, and I'm from Green Township. I'd like to make a suggestion, and that would be to perhaps invest a little money in a couple of speakers, and hang, and then maybe a microphone right here. I think it's a good idea that somebody is ready to do it. I can't hear, and I think it's true for folks in the back. You guys have a microphone. You've got a booming voice of yours, and that's really helpful. I'd like to hear everything that's going on. Thank
Could we get microphones?
Thank you, Warren. Next public comment. Public comment.
We'll get you next week.
Okay.
You're not to sign in. If you want your comment recorded, just state your name and address or township reference.
Jan is number, Highland Drive, Green Township. I just been living in the area 20 years, in public service, for City of Big Rapids, just a transit driver. And I'd like to think that I've contributed something through the years to the community. And it's an awesome place here. People are awesome. The environment is awesome. We're taking it for granted here. I just wondered if Mr. Dillon, before all this, before
You're doing fine.
Before all this came to light, I was wondering if he contributed anything to the community, personally. Are you involved personally with our community, or is this my life's been kind of like on hold, a year and a half, 2 years. November was when the old board was here. And I just happened to slip in because I heard this rumor that this battery factory plant was coming. Came in and they voted on it. And it was like, it's real, it's happening. But thought, okay, whatever, just get up and move. And just, but like I said, love this community. I love this area. So I just kind of wanted to know, and I think others here want to know, is it a go or is it not a go? Our lives are on hold. I just want to know if I can sell the house and move to where? Is another plant going to come in out west or wherever we decide to move? Do we have to move because they move in?
Thank you.
Yes.
and save money by not hiring them. So I don't see any reason why they can't take a contract. And something that our family's been talking about is the blight of several areas in the township that are owned by some people that are in this building that have a lot of old cars and old motorhomes and tanks. And there's wetlands there on that property. I don't know why maybe somebody should look into that. Do we have, my question, you don't have to answer, but my question is, do we have some kind of policy on blight? Because there are several areas that don't improve the township. Thank you.
Rob was asking about if we do have something like that. We do. We have that in the books. We came across it. But it looks like it's been dealt with in the past because the nose on the plan board and that stuff, you know, try to enforce that for us. You know.
As I say, many people have gotten like this.
Yes. We could run the ladder and that sort of thing, but we don't have a whole lot to do it right now. Yeah. So, okay. All right. I'm not exactly sure exactly how that process is. We're not writing all of that stuff. Just thought it was kind of fascinating when I came across it. So, any other, like for the comments, for sure, they've been very good. Any other public comments, please? No? Okay, if there's no additional public comments, I'd like to move to adjourn our special meeting today. We'll take to adjourn. Okay, thank you. I got a motion to adjourn. Second? Okay, second.
Are you going to be around afterwards for some people to talk to you about what you can't say during the meeting?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I